direction. No one can pull me out. I've always felt different from the others. I'm running away now. Fears are fading, won't stop bleeding. 'Cause I'm sick of standing up instead of going down. I'm sick of never being able to cross the line. I'm sick of pretending everything is fine. You got it, you're just a freak like me.
You're listening to the Max Wrestling Podcast. It's time to take it to the max!
Hey yo, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's Max Wrestling episode 372. This is your captain speaking, along with LFA Moses Marquez. Also joining us this week, as you can see, is current Mr. Iron Bank, DC Daniel Crimmins. Welcome back.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Top of the morning, DC.
I think it's convenient. The last time we saw DC was Promo Mania. He makes his return the same week Becky Lynch made her return for the first time since WrestleMania.
There you go.
Except it took me a lot longer to win the thing.
But you did it in much better fashion, I tell you.
Oh,
that.
yeah, won it defiantly.
And I didn't win it. What was it? 28 seconds, something like that.
It was fast, yeah. It was fast, and it was a big score. Coming up this week, big news for Impact with 3 title changes and a shocking announcement from the Inspiration. Randy Orton celebrated 20 years. Asuka and Mustafa Ali both made their returns on Raw, and a big night on Dynamite. But before we get into any of that, let's find out what others think about it, and not even Elon Musk can buy brains for these social media users. It's shit marks say.
Oh, God.
Can you believe the shit these marks say?
I already know. I already know.
We kick it off, of course, with Moses' escapades on TikTok.
I cannot wait to see who you pick this week, because there's been some fucking... Oh, man.
What's up with the Jim Cornette heads?
You know what, dude? I blame and I hate to say this because we're on YouTube. I blame the YouTube era.
You know what? We don't really care about YouTube. The views are We only care about Facebook.
There you go. Facebook is where it matters. But no, that's my whole thing. I swear it's like most of these dudes, they find somebody they can quote unquote relate to, or they find credible in their own way. I'm not saying Cornette's not credible. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying wrestling fans have a tendency to latch. That's our gimmick, okay? And especially when it comes down to writers. That's why you have some that are Meltzer fans. You have some that are Cornette fans. You have some that, for some dumb reason, still listen to Russo. Some guys listen to...
He's got one.
What was that?
He's got one fan.
He's got one. Himself?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, the guy looking in the mirror. You got it, buddy. Yeah, that's your fan.
Yeah, even Alvarez ain't a Russo guy anymore.
Oh, no.
You got to add in the bro. Every other word got to be bro.
That's right, bro. Everything we do, bro, is about the business, bro. But I mean, that's my whole thing is like these guys will latch on to somebody and then they run with it, their ideals, their everything. And Cornette is just the guy. Everybody wants to be just like Cornette. Oh, the little guy this. Oh, the little guy that. We were just talking about this last night about the thing that I don't know if this is the one you're bringing up. The idea of Darby Allin, who's 100 and maybe 60 pounds, I think, something like that, can be beaten up. Thank you. Can be beaten up by the average Joe. And I immediately pointed out in the video that as much as I understand body mass and all that other stuff, I am currently 230 pounds, and I used to compete when I was in my jiu-jitsu days. I wouldn't say, well, I didn't do too many tournaments. My gimmick is I was smaller than most of the dudes because I was in a bigger weight class because that's how the bracket ran. You know what I mean? It was 205. It was not 205. It was 200 to 220. So you had a little bit of leeway. So it doesn't fucking matter. I was always the short guy. I always went against tall guys. Fucking size sometimes doesn't mean shit. But then there was this narrative. And again, so my thing for fucking Darby is he's a state champion wrestler. A state champion wrestler. I only competed at state in California. Okay. And that's one of the worst fucking states for wrestling. Okay. And I'm not saying I could beat everybody's ass, but I'm just saying, fucking, I don't understand where this narrative came from. That's just like saying you can walk up to Khabib Magomedov because he's 145 soaking wet and whip his ass. That's like saying you can go up to, who's a fucking another great fucking little dude, Jose Aldo. You think you can go to Jose Aldo and whip his ass just because he's a little guy?
Well, you also got to remember, like, Cornette's prime era was like mid 90s, right? Is when it was. Now, two of the biggest stars at that time, HBK and Bret Hart.
And people blow that off all the time.
Neither one is a big guy. Like, you got to remember, like, HBK, when he was champ, you had guys like Diesel, Vader, Mick Foley, who's not a small guy.
No, not by any means.
Bret Hart, you had Sid, Vader, Nash, Isaac Yankem. Wonder whatever happened to that guy.
I heard he's running the state now. Fucking guy.
Yeah, Sean was 225.
But that's just the whole thing. It's like, just because they're small, I can whip their ass, and that's because of a fucking Cornette shitting on the little guy. Oh, his gimmick's not believable because he's the little guy.
Try it.
Thank you. That's what we were saying. We were like, bro, let's, again, besides the wrestling factor, he will quite literally jump off something onto you. And if he can't jump off something onto you, he will gladly throw his skateboard right at your fucking head.
How does Cornette feel about Murder Grandpa?
He
ain't a small guy, but he can kill anybody.
I don't know, and I don't want to find out in case it's bad. You know what I mean? That's my whole
Send
problem.
Suzuki for Cornette.
Oh God, he'd
kill him. He'd kill him.
Right.
Kill him dead.
The other one I picked up on from TikTok, mainly for your reaction. Some dude thinks the way to fix AEW is to introduce bra and panties matches.
And he's going on to constantly defend himself as well. So I
wasn't sure if this was satire, but I think he was deadly serious.
No, he was dead ass. He was dead ass, and he wanted everybody to know he was dead ass. And that's that was the worst.
If this was the late 90s, early 2000s, I'd say maybe occasionally do one, whatever. But in 2022, in the political climate that we're in, if Tony Khan announced a bra and panties match between Paige VanZant and Tay Conti for next week's Dynamite, they would have their sponsors calling them in a minute. You cannot do that shit.
You can't.
No. When was the last time you saw it on WWE? When was the last time?
Fuck,
I'm going to say mid-2000s.
I was just going to say maybe 04, like 05.
When was the last time you saw anything even remotely like that? You can't.
I can't fucking put a finger on it.
Lingerie fighting championship.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, other than legit fighting leagues.
But that's literally just all about lingerie fighting. And they actually kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they're legit MMA practitioners just in lingerie.
Yeah.
I mean, you want that, and you want to basically insult all the women that are wrestling out there that go through the training, do all that, and you're going to insult their intelligence and their honor? No.
See, that DC brought that up. I didn't see, he hit on a whole different gimmick. I didn't even do that one. My whole bit was, look at where they're on fucking television. TNT, TBS. I brought up how TNT is a whole lot sports related, and yes, they are about movies. That doesn't mean they're about tits and ass. They're more about the action. They can get down with the action. And then TBS. I named 4 shows in rapid fashion. Young Sheldon, Big Bang Theory, American Dad, and Family Guy. Okay?
That's all I see right before the stream begins. Big Bang Theory.
Every fucking time. If those 4 shows don't scream, this is a family channel, I don't know what the fuck else does. And on a family channel, you can't have some tits and ass. And it's, oh, well, it's not nudity. Bro, I'm sorry, it's borderline. And borderline in 2022. That's, you crossed it in 2022. Sorry.
You had a sponsor freak out over a fucking pizza cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, granted, it was Nick effing Gage. Besides the point, you know, what would happen if you had Anna Jay, you know, partially exposed? People freak out when WWE has a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, Charlotte.
I'm about to say, didn't people give Braun Breaker or whatever some shit, or whoever got there was a match where somebody basically got fucking pantsed. I think it was Braun Breaker.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was Bob Roode tried to pull him off the fucking thing, and everybody saw half his ass. I'm like, see, that's the thing. And people fucking throw an uproar over that all the time. Well, fucking fix your gear. Like,
but in our time, in our time, that was a normal occurrence for Ric Flair.
That's true. But then again, you also have to think about how things were back then.
Absolutely.
I don't remember the last time I even fucking heard that Jerry Springer still on the fucking air, because that's that fucking shit. That was the thing that started that whole era. Yeah, was there like mud wrestling or whatever in like the 80s? Sure. Were there like I think like evening gown matches? Absolutely. Yeah. But as far as like straight check me out, you were a valet, you were like woman. You know what I mean? You just, you oozed sexuality. I like fucking him and it, you know what I mean? I like that. But it's not, this isn't,
now,
as DC said, it's not the time no more.
Shawn Michaels even changed the rules for an evening gown match once, because the object was to strip the lady out of the evening gown and then you win. Shawn changed it so that the lady who got stripped won the title, which was Deborah.
I mean, we all win for that one.
We know Steve Austin did.
Oh, yeah. All right, so on to the other social media.
Hey, can't be much better.
Names have been changed to protect their stupidity. First up, we have Certified Cuckoo. In response to WWE asking, where do you think Butch is right now? This guy says, Butch is better than Sammy and Ty, by the way. What in the fuck does anything in that tweet from WWE have to do with AEW?
What does that even mean? Like,
see, that's another thing, and I appreciate you for that one there, Daz. That's the other thing that I always see on fucking TikTok and Facebook and Twitter and every fucking
random AEW reference.
Oh, well, we didn't bring up the E. You brought up the E. They live in your head rent free. Yet this is what happens, and you're just a fucking AEW diehard. Oh my god, like, bro, you were again pot, black, kettle, the whole gimmick. Fucking retarded. It's dumb all the time. It's dumb every single time. Yeah. And now we have Certified Cuckoo is a perfect name, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, call me a WWE hater, an AEW loyalist, whatever. Yes, we shit on WWE because they deserve it. I also criticize AEW when they deserve it.
Exactly.
Factuals.
I also shockingly praise WWE when they deserve it. This week's Raw should have been the Aftermania Raw. It was pretty good. It's entirely possible to watch any and all wrestling without picking a side. Why do E-drones, as they become known, that's people that only watch WWE and think any and all other wrestling is evil, why do E-drones feel the need to bring AEW into any conversation just to take a dump on them?
You know, what I find absolutely hilarious, these same fans that are singing Cody's praises 6 months ago were saying he was a no-talent schmuck. When I guarantee
the whole thing.
Name any single AEW talent. Darby, for example. Let's say, for example, Darby Allin signed with the E today. Let's say he debuts on SmackDown and beats Roman for the title. They would say, oh my God, this guy's so good.
Yes, they would.
Maybe not Cornette, but...
No, he'd fucking flip. He'd flip too. Oh, because Vince sees it, so I can see it now. he makes sense like I do. That's the fucking gimmick. That's the fucking problem. And again, another point brought up that nobody talks about. 6 months ago, everybody shat all over fucking Cody Rhodes. Oh, he's a this. Oh, he's a that. Us AEW diehards, did we hate him? No. We just kept teasing being a heel, but we knew that he fucked himself over and couldn't be a heel. So every time he teased it, he was just being a prick. So we can't be mad at him for being a prick. Like, come on, dude. It's, human regular emotions. Get the fuck over it. But again, 6 months ago, they shat on him. Now, he's got the fucking most downloaded theme song on Spotify, and every fucking nerd on fucking TikTok sings it.
And he's had that theme for like 4 years.
And let's put it this way. If you actually look up the lyrics to that song, it makes no sense for him in WWE to be using that song.
It doesn't.
No, I think that was literally written for his exit.
Exactly. Like, you couldn't go to Downstate and be like, hey, we want to use this song, but can you give us a new version and change the lyrics around? With the amount of songs that Downstate has done for WWE, I'm sure they say, sure, yeah, we can do that.
And yes, you built your kingdom, but then you sold it. And you left your kingdom.
No, they're going to say, no, we're not doing that shit. And fucking walk Snoop Dogg. What's that plan? We got that one theme. And I'm going to be like, you go ahead, you use that one.
Yeah, just use a Snoop Dogg version because nobody liked it anyway.
Watch the fucking E-Drones love the shit out of it.
In closing to that tweet, Butch is still a stupid fucking name. So's his gimmick. Pete Dunne deserves better and had better.
And he knows it. He knows it.
Again, the things we do for paydays.
Have you noticed, look at his Twitter handle. He hasn't changed it to Butch.
No, a lot of them don't when they change their name.
Yeah, fuck that.
Walter changed it.
I think he's pretty much accepted Gunther, and I think a lot of fans have, to be honest.
Not only that, I think he is playing ball for them. Like, he is willing to play ball and just fall in line and the whole shebang, bro. That's that's the vibe I get from him right now. When he moved to the States, he's baby.
He's just kind of like, the name doesn't matter. My ring work does the speaking for me.
And that's okay. I'm not gonna shit on him. I don't have to shit on any of these dudes because it's not necessary. But if they deserves it, whatever. I mean, I guess Gunther's grown.
This next one may open up a can of worms, and I so wish Fenix was here for it. He's probably gonna catch up in about 10 weeks. Wesley, model CR1000. He got that name because there's a lot of numbers in his name.
Oh, I was gonna say.
He says Kenny has done more in wrestling than Undertaker has, and Kenny has another 15 years left. Okay. I love Kenny Omega as much as the next guy, but come on.
I mean, if we're reaching, right? I mean, if we're really, really reaching,
we're reaching through the grave like Taker with this one.
Fucking like, bro, we're fucking reaching from the core of the earth. I'll tell you what, because that's again, I'm with you. Hey, I fucking love Kenny. Okay, he's my dude.
Taker
again.
We got both sides here.
Another dude we love. I wish I had my little fucking water bottle right now, but that's the thing. Dudes we like. Dude, Take's been around since the fucking 80s, and the guy just stopped.
Right.
Kenny has done a lot for professional wrestling. However, The Undertaker has done so much for WWE, and I feel that kind of engulfs it because, again, for multiple eras, you have Taker in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Just fucking recently, the goddamn him with AJ, the Boneyard match. You know what I mean? That's the thing. He's just fucking been there and been there and been there. And again, as much as Kenny made everybody pay attention to professional wrestling, The Undertaker was that one constant, in my opinion, good in the E.
I think the more accurate statement to make there would have been Kenny has done more for wrestling than Ric Flair.
I can go with that one.
That would have been more accurate. But to kind of piggyback on what you said, Mo, Undertaker has been around 30 years with the same company.
Yeah, no one's ever done that. Not even Flair or Hogan or Brett.
If you look at the level that Kenny competes at, to quote Charlie Sheen, he only has one speed: go.
Mm-hmm.
At that rate, do you really think Kenny's got another 15 years?
No, I would say 10 tops.
If that.
He's also like literally just recovering from some pretty nasty injuries, knee surgery again, a hernia.
He's technically been out. He's gonna be out how long? Almost a year.
Yeah.
And supposedly he's not coming back till
December,
if that. And you look at Undertaker, like you have people from all over the wrestling industry have praised him and have said that he's one of the reasons they got into it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a guy who is just, to quote a phrase, he's iconic.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
There will never be another Taker. Simple as that.
No, he's in a league of his own, and it also comes down to like being a household name. Like Kenny Omega is obviously very, very well known among wrestling fans, but you walk down the street, ask anybody, they'll know who Undertaker is.
Yes, dude. Yeah, you can ask any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You know the Undertaker? Oh, you know the Undertaker? You know the Undertaker? You'll get a yes.
Yeah.
What's the whole thing? Like 10 out of 10, you're gonna get a yes for Taker, and maybe I'm gonna say a 3 out of 10. You're gonna get a Kenny, and that's being generous.
And some people with Taker, they'll say, "Oh yeah, he's that guy from Suburban Commando."
Hey, what you know what I mean? Whatever connection they make, bud.
Yeah, like Kenny's 38. He beats the shit out of his body constantly in high impact matches. He ain't lasting another 15 years.
No.
Not with his work ethic and his style.
10 tops.
He'd be 52 if he wrestled for another 15 years.
Oof.
And I know Taker's career is also riddled with injury, and he's 57 now, and his last great match was almost 10 years ago.
Right.
I mean, and for what it was, the Boneyard match was fantastic.
Yeah. But I mean,
as crazy it is, I think the pandemic was the greatest thing to happen to Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
To force, could he have had a great match with AJ in front of a live crowd? I don't think so. I don't think he could have.
No, I mean, that Boneyard match was, 15, 20 minutes, but it took them a good few hours to actually shoot the damn thing.
I mean, Taker even said in an interview, I think his last match before AJ, I think it was the Goldberg match in Saudi, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last. And even he said, he knew that when that match happened, it was time to start hanging it up.
Yeah, his last great wrestling match in front of a crowd was probably against Shawn, or maybe Punk.
I'll say Punk.
Punk, yeah. Okay, last one. This is from Coco the Bitch. He got the name because his profile picture is very accurately a clown. His take is wrestling is the worst part about wrestling. Stories, segments, and characters is where it's at, and that's what draws, not boring ass 5-star bangers. Dude, what are you even doing here?
Okay. So this is the funniest thing because I don't think that besides. Okay, so the biggest companies in the world right now, you cannot say their name without saying the word wrestling.
Yeah.
All Elite.
Even WWE.
All Elite Wrestling. World Wrestling Entertainment. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
And then you've got that narrative shit.
But then this is, I want to shit on people. But then again, the reality of the matter, the truth of the matter is shit like that is what made people want to watch back in the day. That's what made the Attitude Era can't miss. It was the storylines. It was the, what are they going to say this week? What is Austin going to do this week? What is Rock going to do this week? The anticipation of what's going to go on, but also the on edge, you know what I mean? The whole craziness of it all. Now it's more based on the sport. It's more based on actual grappling and moveset and being able to work well with each other, not just doing fucking moves for the sake of doing moves, but making sense in the ring, being able to tell a story not only on screen in a cool video package, but in that ring. And the E has kind of lost the in-ring stories, but I mean, it's still around. But that's the whole fucking point. When there was no video packages, when there was no drama in the 80s, what did they do? Other than building it in the crowd for, like, besides drama, they built it with the match. You had long, drawn out, meaningful matches. So if that's your narrative, you have to have the storylines. Wake up early every single day. Children's Hospital. Days of Our Lives. There's a shit ton of them. Go on Netflix, bud. Go watch a drama on Netflix. They got dramas for days.
They just rebooted the Kardashians.
Go watch Bel Air. You want some drama? Go watch Bel Air. That shit was good.
How many times did Ric Flair wrestle for an hour back in the day?
Shit, I could tell you. We were in our days in history thing. There'd be random shows where he'd be a house show and go 60 minutes,
and then turn around and go to another show a couple hours later
and do 60 minutes.
Also, like, there was an element of building up to the matches in the Attitude Era. Like, yeah, holy shit, we're going to get Stone Cold and The Rock. Let's build the shit out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you just know, now it's, oh, hey, we'd get Stone Cold and The Rock this month. Oh, and next month, and then the month after that, and the month after that, and the month after that.
And then it's Saudi.
And then it's Saudi.
But, like, nobody watches football and thinks, you know what? I don't give a shit about the game. I just want to see these guys snort some coke and drive sports cars.
And
exactly. That's what it is. No, it's like tuning, and that's a perfect but it's like tuning on the TV on a Sunday while watching the Bucks last year and saying, all right, I'm waiting for fucking AP to blow up. When are you going to blow up? Well, you finally took all the shit off and ran. Let's go. That's what I've been waiting for. Like, you know what? No.
In great wrestling, you need both. You need characters and you need in-ring competition. Like,
all day.
New Japan, for example, primarily focuses on in-ring competition.
Mm-hmm.
But therein, like, look at Tetsuya Naito. We'll use him as an example. Arguably one of the greatest characters they have.
Oh, no, he's the best.
When he was...
I'm a fucking Okada fan, okay?
Not his most recent IC title reign, the one before it, when he just beat the shit out of that title.
When he didn't give an absolute fuck. When he gave no fucks. He felt disrespected. He felt disrespected as the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, so he treated the belt like crap. And by literally, like, DC's not playing. He would literally walk and he would chuck it as hard as he can in the air and just say, watch out, and let the thing crash. He'd stomp on it. I remember, like, I forgot who he was wrestling, and he's coming out to the ring, and I'm just like, all right, he's going to, like, throw it into the ring. And he's like, holds it, and he just baseball swings it right up against the post. And I'm like, what the like, dude, what are you doing? And but that was his gimmick. Like, he was the character. He was so disrespected. I'm going to beat the absolute crap out of this thing.
And they've got characters too. Like, you know, I will say, like, my biggest gripe with some of AEW is some of their characters could be a little bit better. Not all of them, but some of them could be a little better. But they're getting there for a company that's only, 3 years old-ish?
Yeah.
The fact that they are as far as they are is incredible.
Facts.
And this is why they're marks, and that's the shit they say. Now, we would normally go into our top stories right now, but seeing as we have some company, let's get to promoting Trivia Takeover 7, which is our very next special coming up. May 24th and 26th, it's the doubleheader Trivia Takeover. And it's a doubleheader because of the Champions Chase, which takes place every year at Trivia Takeover. The Knowledge Champion has never survived Champions Chase. The first year, I believe Moses lost it to Fenix. Last year, Mike lost it back to Moses. This year, Phoenix is champion again. The question is, who's gonna try to outrun Phoenix and take his last remaining championship?
Somebody better. That motherfucker needs nothing. You hear me? Nothing.
Also, Chad Malcolm will defend the television championship against the person sitting right here, Moses Marquez, in 30-second quick fire. I do believe, though, Chad's thinking about raising the stakes. That's the kind of lawyer shit that he pulls.
I was going to say, if he's the lawyer, he's already got a fucking backup plan, this guy.
But double duty for Moses. I mean, triple duty if he wants to do Champion's Chase. But the door is open.
Are you kidding me? I got to be there.
The door is open. Nobody answered the challenge of Promo Mania. However, the Shape has somehow wormed his way back into the show and arranged a mystery opponent for Moses in a promo exhibition at Trivia Takeover. Fun times.
What the fuck?
This is what happens when I have no control over the Shape. He does his own shit. And in the possible main event, of course, whoever leaves Champion's Chase as the Knowledge Champion has the opportunity to cash it in and take on the World Champion.
That guy.
In the first ever Jester's Justice, where you have 5 minutes to make it from one side of the room to the other, working your way through the Jester's lies. For more information, go to maxwrestling.net/takeover7, and for more details on Jester's Justice, go to maxwrestling.net/Jester'sJustice.
Say that 10 times fast.
No. God, no.
So how does that card sound?
Ridiculously mixed-stacked.
This is why we call it Trivia Takeover, which of course is how DC became Mr. Iron Bank in Trivia. And every time I say Iron Bank, I kind of shudder a little bit because I do have one of the championships right now. Chad has the other. Fenix has the other.
Spread out equally.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that. Usually people wait a long time for these cash-ins, and it's kind of unnerving that Mr. Iron Bank is on the show so quickly after Promo Mania, because it never really happens.
I'm usually one that when I get a new toy, I can't wait to play with it. I wasn't one of those kids that could leave their toys in the box and just watch it. See, that wouldn't be.
I'm about to say, I'm 32 now. You know how much patience I had? I still have to fucking tell myself you can't open that.
So, brings me to the announcement and the reason I'm here. When am I going to cash in the case? Well, I've made history before with Max Wrestling. I was in the very first, and to my remembrance, the only tag team promo bout, if I recall. So. And so, if I recall, my options are either world title, television title, or knowledge title.
Yes.
And Dazzy, when I gave you some clues, I said Austin Aries. So, with those three options, I am going to cash in on a title behind door number 4. Door number 4 is the title of main event in Promo Mania 2023 for a promo bout. A promo that I have never had. And I figure I should have a opponent that I've never worked against. And I worked against some of the best. I've worked against the Walker. Mo, you and I have done our thing in the past. Dazzy, you and I have done our thing. And I've even worked against somebody that we won't name.
Yeah, that guy.
So, and I mentioned Forbidden Door. So I looked for an opponent, searched far and wide, and I went into the deepest depths of hell. And when I said never before and never again, my opponent in the main event of Promo Mania 2023, competing one last time, it will be Daniel Crimmins versus the Demon S.
Wow. I didn't even know she was back.
Quite literal shit in my draws.
One last time.
Holy crap.
That is what I'm cashing in against. And I said it had never been done before. That's option number 4.
That is very unique. You don't want a title. You just want the main. You know, Punk should have had Iron Bank. You don't want the title. You just want a main event.
Just want the main.
That is big. I mean, we were going to get Demon S versus you at one point in one of the promo climaxes, I believe, but it didn't happen. So, yeah, history will be made. The Demon S seems to be rising again, and very appropriately. Next year, when Promo Mania goes Hollywood.
Oh, at the biggest, brightest stage of them all.
Right.
What better time to do it?
Wow.
All right. Well, that's the weight off all the champions' backs. But I guess more weight on everybody's back, knowing that the Demon S is on the rise again.
The fact that the idea of her coming back, I don't give a shit if it's a year out, still fucking makes me quiver.
Right. Yeah. We can already hear the Hello Mortals.
Oh,
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have 11 months to prepare for Promo Mania.
Shit, that ain't enough.
And, kudos to me for keeping this thing a secret, because I suck at keeping secrets. I just can't do it. Like, what? I kept wanting to tell you, but it's like, no.
Gotta hold it off.
Gotta be a surprise.
I didn't even hear it from the Demon S herself.
No, that one's what we call the Earth Shakers.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Now I gotta make a graphic. There you go.
Right.
All right. Well, I mean, that's one top story. Let's get to this week's wrestling top stories. I actually want to talk about Rebellion first, because big night for Josh Alexander, once again the world champion, and he got to keep it this time. Amazing moment for him and for his son.
I'm about to say that was the coolest fucking little entrance I ever seen, boy.
Again, never been done before.
Jeez.
If
you're trying to build the most ultimate baby face, bring him out with his kid wearing his gear. That's fucking shit. That's gold.
You know what? As I've said to other people, I think it's high time that we start not looking at Impact as the redheaded stepchild. They have come leaps and bounds above where they were years ago.
Facts. And
top to bottom, it was a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Pun very much intended.
I mean, it's actually no surprise to me that Josh Alexander has found more solo success than Ethan Page. Everybody thought Page would be the breakout from the North, but I always thought, Josh Alexander's got a little something.
He's got more than just a little something. I was one of those dudes where I was outside looking in. I'm gonna be super honest with you. I was not a fan of either of them. But then again, I also didn't watch Impact. I think the first one I watched, I saw goddamn Karate Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I fuck with Ethan Page. This is goofy as shit, but I fuck with Ethan Page. And I think it was quite like maybe 2 or 3 pay-per-views after that is when Josh Alexander started going on a tear, winning the X Division title, turn around, winning the world title. And I was just like, who in the fuck is this guy? And he made me take notice. And it's because of guys like DC, like Teddy P, like Rob, that are watching Impact, telling you you got to watch Impact. You got to give it a shot. Do something about it. And it's worth it. It's worth the watch. It's worth even talking about nowadays, especially now that Josh Alexander is their champ. You have Matt Cardona in there too. He's been talk-worthy for Jesus. Every time I turn around, fucking people are like praising him now.
And he's getting another title.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot to look at there. But I mean, when you look at a fucking dominant world champion, I don't give a shit if you don't know who Josh Alexander is. You need to go fucking look up Josh Alexander. If you were one of those people that looked at Kenny and looked at Okada and said, but if you were that other half that looked him up and got excited, go look up Josh Alexander. You will get excited.
I think what it is, like, everybody thought that Ethan Page was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
He's more charismatic.
You look at, a stereotypical pro wrestler, you put the two of them next to each other, you're going to think, who looks like they'd be a bigger star? Ethan Page. You know, he's got the look. He's got, you know, the physique. He looks like, you know, the kind of guy you'd want to build your company around. Definitely the E would. They probably would have made
for sure.
champion 10 times by now.
Oh, for sure.
But then you see Josh Alexander, you see the headgear, you see the singlet, and you think, who is this goofball?
They think one-dimensional.
Exactly. But I'll admit it, I'm a victim of that. I remember seeing him with the headgear, and I thought, why is he wearing amateur gear in professional wrestling? I thought it looked goofy. But then I started watching this guy and seeing what he could do, and it's incredible. Like, his match with Moose was amazing.
Yeah, Moose did good putting him over.
Moose has been a great world champion.
Moose has been great, period.
Like, to see Moose get his shot should have happened a while ago. But to see him finally being able to hang and prove that he is as good as he says he is.
Yes, dude. 6 years ago, 6 fucking years ago, he was a retired offensive lineman in Ring of Honor, and he was just a big dude, but everybody loved the Moose. You know what I'm saying? He got over because of his fucking theme, but then he fucking learned the business, and he learned it so well, and then he got in shape, and he's literally the fucking total package now. He's so fucking good. He's athletic for a dude who's 6'6" and pretty much still 300 pounds. He moves very well. His in-ring work is awesome. I haven't even seen a bad match from him in a while. I still sing his praises for him and Ishii that I saw at the New Japan show in LA. Fucking phenomenal.
He got over as one of the top heels in wrestling.
Facts.
When he comes out and he steals the Impact World title from Ethan Page, beats him in like 30 seconds or whatever it was, after that emotional moment of Ethan Page finally winning the big one, of his family being there, only to lose it right in front of his wife and son. What better heel move is there?
I mean, I can't think of one.
Stop. People need to stop sleeping on Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, for a long portion last year, we did like heavily feature Impact on the show. Then, of course, they moved to Thursdays, and it made it difficult for us. So, I mean,
it fucking ruined us.
That's why I love it when Impact have a big pay-per-view that gives us something to talk about Impact for once.
It's nice.
Also, a big night for Taya Valkyrie, culminating her return by dethroning Deonna Purrazzo as AAA Reina de Reinas champion.
Reina de Reinas.
Great to see, especially after seeing WWE completely waste her time.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of their times. Taya, you shouldn't have left, go.
When people, I hope you fucking E-drones realize that this has been something that's been going on for years. Vince will buy your contract to keep you away from them and them and them. It's not because we're going to utilize you. It's because I don't want you to have them. I don't want you to have them. I don't want you to have them. He's the greedy rich kid.
Vince will sign, say, 20 people, right? Of that 20, maybe 5 get used.
Yeah.
5 or less will get used.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe less, but yeah.
Vince is the guy who will buy the Brown properties on Monopoly just so nobody else can buy them.
Yes, dude.
Hey, I always use those properties.
You know, once you build the houses and the hotels that they are worth, they're pretty good.
When you're a businessman, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but like right from the offset, $2. Also, the other new champion we had at Rebellion, Ace Austin, became a 3-time X Division champion, defeating Trey Miguel and Mike Bailey. Trey Miguel had a pretty good reign as a solo guy for like really the first real run he's had since the Rascals broke up.
Trey Miguel's awesome.
He's a solid dude. There's a local indie promotion near me, and they've got an event next month. The main event is Trey Miguel versus Buddy Matthews.
Oh, hey.
Damn. Yeah, Trey's been on a rise for like a year now.
I'm gonna say a little bit longer. But then again, when I see it, and I think I've always said this on this goddamn show, when I see a dude show up in PWG, I take notice.
Right.
I don't know. Now it's a little bit more skewed because there's a lot more AEW just regs, but I still take a look at it. I still, you know what I mean? This guy looks interesting. This dude looks interesting. This dude looks interesting. I had no idea who fucking Ilona Dragoff was before before his NXT UK run without fucking PWG.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
helpful stuff.
Pay attention to the indies, people. It is actually worth it.
To
But
the E-drones, where do you think most of your favorites came from?
Exactly.
They weren't made in the backyard. I assure you this.
But the biggest shock of the week for Impact was the Inspiration announcing that they're taking an indefinite break from in-ring action. That was the exact phrasing. Nobody said they retired. Nobody said they're injured. But they are both now out of Impact.
Yeah.
We know where they're going.
I really, really hope not.
I hope not, dude. I mean, again, I understand the payday factor, but it's money really buy happiness?
They said they're excited to start a new chapter and explore other opportunities. Now,
You know what?
They're doing porno.
Hey, look how much money Tony Storm made off.
well, yeah,
I'm just
OnlyFans
saying.
sells.
Just saying.
The silly part of my brain was like, oh, maybe they're both pregnant, but that's just stupid. It would be a crazy coincidence if it happened with Bellas.
Hey, that'd be cool.
Well,
Interesting.
Kathy Lee and Sean Spears have been married a number of years, so
Yeah, he scored a perfect 10.
Quite literally.
It could be a number of things. It could be moving into coaching or producing. They could even be leaving the industry completely for a while. We don't know, but it came out of nowhere, and I can honestly say I've enjoyed their run together. Like even when I wasn't supposed to, especially when I wasn't supposed to.
Especially when we weren't supposed to.
I think the shocking thing was just that it came out of nowhere. There was like no indication that they were gonna do anything like that.
Well, yeah, they were on the rise again in Impact, and everything. We thought everything was cool, and then all of a sudden, I literally like checking Discord. They were retiring. Wait, what? Or they're taking a break. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Going on hiatus. But
I wouldn't be shocked to see them back in the E. I really wouldn't.
Man,
again,
which you know what? They'll bring them if that happens. They'll bring them in, and they'll split them up again in like a week.
Right? Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
And that's what they did. They split them up for absolutely no reason, then put them both in other tag teams.
And then
because they're dumb.
Cause I'm sick of standing up instead of going south. I'm sick of never being able to cross the line. I'm sick of pretending everything is fine. You got it, you're just a freak like me.
Hey, this is the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy.
Hey, this is Tommy Dreamer.
It's the Ultimate Vanessa, your girl's favorite wrestler. Hey yo, what up? It's Darby Allin.
This is the voice of Killer Cross.
It's the interview queen, Alicia Atute here.
You are watching
Max Wrestling Podcast.
You are currently listening to the Max Wrestling Podcast.
We're gonna take it to the max!
We're about to take it to the max.
And we're about to take it to the max.
It's time to take it to the max.
Hey, welcome to the Madhouse.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Madhouse.
Cause I'm sick of standing up instead of going south. I'm sick of never being able to cross the line. I'm sick of pretending everything is fine. You got it, you're just a freak like me.
Other stories. So Asuka crashed Becky Lynch's return.
Hell yeah.
First appearance since last year's Money in the Bank. Beer, you're in trouble because you spoiled it for me. I literally didn't read anything about Asuka's return on any dirt sheets. And then I get a message from Beer Monday night. I hear Becky might be feuding with Asuka.
Like, you son of a bitch.
So yeah, that surprise was spoiled for me because it was like finally a return that hasn't been plastered all over social media, but it made sense. First of all, before we get into the storyline, I'm just gonna say it. I fucking hate Becky's new gimmick. I know she's a heel, but once upon a time, yeah, I know she's a heel, but like once upon a time, she was the biggest name in WWE. And it seems like this gimmick is a punishment to us for supporting her so much for 4
How
years
dare
ago.
you like when she was doing something that we didn't like?
It's just awful. And also, who's the announcer for Raw?
I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Every time he does the stupid voice crack
Was he
yelling
a
big
baseball
time.
announcer or something? I'm looking
Like,
this
you mean
fucking dork up.
Announce team or ring announcer?
The ring announcer. Is it Greg or is he on SmackDown?
Oh, Greg Hamilton got fired.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, well, whoever's on Raw, every time he yells big time, I want to kick him in the nuts. But it sounds like they're already up in his stomach.
Or is that SmackDown? Is it
Mike Rome?
It says Mike Rome.
I
thought you were going to talk about the commentator dude. I was like, I still have no fucking idea who the fuck he is.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who he is, but I mean, he doesn't annoy me as much as Michael Cole, so I just the commentary team is just there now.
I can't say Michael Cole bugs me because Pat McAfee is just the fucking man.
You know what? Pat McAfee has very much improved Michael Cole. I didn't think it was possible.
I'm about to say, if you can do that, you're fucking one. You're going to go down as one of the greatest of all time.
Okay, Pat is a guy who made us like Vince again as a person.
That's true.
Pat is
he made you love Brock.
As a man, as a person, he's like, this guy's awesome.
This guy's
Pat can do no wrong.
He can't.
He could get anybody over.
He really. I also blamed. I don't think it's. I think it's a lot of him, but I also think it was also a lot of the boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So regardless of what I think of Becky's gimmick, I do still enjoy her in the ring. WrestleMania, she had one of the best matches of the weekend with Bianca.
Easily. And
just like that match, there's already a great story between her and Asuka. So that should be a great match too. Did they only face each other once at the Rumble? Would this be like the first time they've wrestled since then?
I think so. I think they were supposed to. There was a time when they were supposed to, but Becky got hurt.
Right. And of course, the last time they were in the ring together was when Becky announced she was pregnant and literally handed Asuka the title. Asuka has so much fun. Like, Asuka has so much fun. Like, she's just stood there. She's dancing around. She's just having a time of her
She's
life.
happy to be there.
Yeah.
She's like, well, we got to make the most of it.
She exudes joy. And you could see the happiness on people's faces when her music hit.
And even her social media, too.
She's just like awesome. Such a fun, bubbly person. She's like the complete opposite of Becky right now.
Oh, yeah. But it's great. It's great stuff. I love all of it.
And again, Mustafa Ali got a fresh start.
Damn Mustafa.
It was nice seeing him back.
Yeah, and he looked happy, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm back on television.
A few months ago. Well, I think that was the thing. I think that was the thing. He just wanted to be used.
That's it, dude. That's all any of these fucking guys want, is to be used. Don't let me sit here and flounder. I can do that fucking at home. You know what I mean? In my comfort, in my pajamas, on my computer, fucking around on the Xbox, whatever. But I want to be here wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm in the World Wrestling Entertainment, to wrestle.
Yeah, World Sports Entertainment.
That's right, to sports entertain your entertains.
Got the win over The Miz before a surprise, being attacked by Tommaso Ciampa.
You mean Ciampa?
Is he just Ciampa now?
He's just Ciampa now.
They dropped Tommaso. But you know,
I knew it was a matter of time.
To be fair,
did you know that they changed Angel? I don't mean to cut you off, DC. Did you know they changed Angel Garza's name to just Angel?
Yeah, the funny thing about Austin Theory too is that he's just Theory now, but he's still using the AT logo.
I always hated that, the whole idea of the theory, just because like I want anybody at any time to just be like, I have a theory, and then boom, let his music hit. Like, you really want to be a douchebag heel? Do that. Anytime that anybody says the word theory, you just come out like a dick.
You
call me? No.
Okay. Warning. Like 3-minute warning.
Exactly. It'd be fucking
3-minute warning. On the topic of Austin Theory, speculation has arose this week that he's the next John Cena. Like,
goddamn Juan Cena.
The way I said that in my expression then kind of gave it away incorrect feelings, because it's easy for us or anybody to just sit here and say he doesn't have what it takes to be the next John Cena or the next poster boy. But
Nobody knows.
let's not forget.
Be John.
He could.
Exactly. We would have been sat here saying the same thing about John Cena. His debut was actually very average. The only reason it gets replayed so much is because of the career he went on to have.
Yeah.
Facts.
If he didn't become the 16-time champion, whatever, nobody would talk about his debut. Hell, nobody would talk about
let's be
his career.
I'm about to say, let's be 1,000% honest. If he didn't start fucking freestyling in the back with the fucking dudes with I think it was what they say, Ray and Rikishi and some of the other dudes. If he wasn't back there and Stephanie didn't see him, he wouldn't be a guy.
No.
And like, let's say, look at Roman, for example, who's arguably WWE's biggest act right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at when he first came in the Shield. If he hadn't had that heel turn and aligned with Heyman, he would have a very forgettable career.
I can argue that one because that was a hot button topic all over fucking TikTok. They pushed. If it wasn't for him getting cancer, nobody would have cared about him. Let's be honest here. When he came with the Shield and we, the IWC, started to love Roman Reigns, we wanted him to be the guy. We said, now's the time to be the guy. He would go in there with guys like Bryan and guys like Punk, and he would fucking put on bangers, and he was everything, and he didn't do a lot of talking. He put on his work in the ring, something we didn't see often from guys. He goes on. They end up going, we're going to go with Seth instead. They don't really do much with Roman. He basically stays the same. He doesn't evolve for like 2 years. Then he gets cancer again, unfortunately. And I know a lot of the other IWC said when this guy comes back, and he's going to be the world's biggest fucking babyface. And that lasted all of 7-8 months.
Then he won a title again.
And then he won a title again, and we hated him because you're shoving him right back down our throat. Can you build the guy? Can you make him go through the ranks a little bit? Nope, he's just right back in the gimmick. But now, because they let him be a heel, and we know the E knows how to build heels better than faces. That's why he is the guy that we all must acknowledge, which I'm not acknowledging.
Yeah,
but
like if we're all going to boo him, let's give him a reason to boo him.
There you go.
Of the 3 Shield guys, I was always rooting for Mox. He was my guy. I wanted him to be the guy.
I think I was very much a Rollins guy, but Mox was second.
And it's looking at Theory or Austin Theory. Could he be the next John Cena? I think it's very possible he could. Very possible.
Yeah.
He's got the look.
He's got the look. He's talented. Vince loves him.
Mo, you heard me say this, and I'm making the prediction right here. He will be the guy to take the Universal title off of Roman. Not the WWE title. That one's going to Corey.
Goddamn Corey. Corey Streets.
Going to Corey. But Austin Theory will be the one to take the Universal off of Roman.
Hey.
Let's go.
I was looking into this week. Like, if you compare the first 2 years of Austin Theory's career and John Cena's careers, they're not exactly a million miles apart.
No.
So I'm not going to sit here and say there's no way Austin Theory is going to be a huge star in a year or two, because there's a very possible that he could be.
They could book him that way if they want to. If Vince really does feel this way, this strongly about this kid, they'll fucking push him to the moon.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not.
And we can see he clearly knows how to make a gimmick work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So 20...
You don't have to like him, but you got to respect him.
Yeah. 20 years of Randy Orton. Yeah, he's 20. I want to say 27. Yeah.
That sounds right. Am I right? If I'm right, I'm going to go bananas.
Let's go to Uncle Google.
McGoogle.
Uncle Google. He is 24.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So he's pretty much the age Brock was when he won the WWE title.
Austin Theory could be around another 20 years.
Yeah.
True that. He is young enough to be a pillar.
Which is a nice segue. 20 years of Randy Orton this week. Hell of a career. He's 42 and he's still in his damn prime.
Yeah.
And there's no slowing down. He said he's going to be around for a long time. Still, he wants to be the next guy after Taker to stay in the same company that long, and like very possible he only has another 10 years to go.
I love the crack that he made where he said that he plans on still being there long after Roman leaves for Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because we all know it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It happens to all the top stars.
So do I see Orton lasting another 10 years? This goes back to the Kenny Omega conversation earlier. I absolutely see Randy still going strong at 52.
Oh, yeah.
He's still in incredible shape. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. He's a very safe worker.
I mean, his hardest bump is the superplex. Just saying.
And, I look at it like this. If he works it right, easily. Is he going to be working a full-time schedule in his 50s? No. But, like, you look at Jericho.
Yeah.
Who's, I think, right now, like, what, 51-ish? 52? Like, right
Yeah,
around
I think
there?
he's 51, 52.
Mm-hmm.
And he still can go at such a high level. Jericho is better now than he was 20 years ago.
Yup. No denial here.
Orton is another guy. You look at Orton when he first debuted back in like 2001, 2002.
Oh, the blue and yellow trunks.
He was a nerd.
Fucking nerd, baby.
But then, he found out who he was. He found his identity. Like all the greats in wrestling, Savage, Hogan, Flair, all of them found their identity, found out what worked, and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who it was that said it, but they said the greatest wrestlers are the ones whose gimmick is just who they really are, magnified by 100.
Yeah, I don't know who said that originally, but I remember Stone Cold saying it.
And it's true.
I think it was Harley.
It was Harley. And you know what? It's true. It's the God's truth. And
oh, yeah?
Orton, I could easily see working well into his 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It is crazy. Like he started off as the Legend Killer, which was a great gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
And he is now literally a living legend.
Goddamn right.
When it is time for him to hang it up, I think he worked that into his final storyline. Legend Killer finally gets killed. And that's how he retires.
He's also coming across as very humble in his 40s too. Like he's super appreciative and respectful of Mick Foley for the rub he gave him. Undertaker, I think he mentioned. And he's having the time of his life right now with Matt Riddle.
And he acknowledges that when he was a kid and when he was first starting out, he was horrible.
Hey, I mean, when you can own up, man.
How long was his shoulder injury after his debut?
Oof.
It was in the same year, I know that much.
It was almost a year, I think. But he even said his attitude then, he said, they should have fired me.
I was saying with Cena. He was this close to getting cut too.
Yeah, he was.
So that's pretty much it from WWE. Now, Rampage. Tony, you've got to stop overloading Rampage. It's a 1-hour show. And
the problem is they edit it now.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's a 1-hour show. You booked 4 matches and 2 interview segments.
It's I mean TK, bro, like I know he's in the Discord and all that other shit. Like this is a no bueno move, okay? Like I understand you got to fit a time slot. I get it. I fucking get it. But this is why we tune into your fucking product, bro, is because you have excellent wrestling. Most of the time it's very good wrestling on just about every match. So, like, in certain matches, if you're gonna cut them short, you need to post the whole thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plain and simple.
Like, I get wanting to book all this stuff. If ratings suck, nobody wants to watch late night wrestling on a Friday night. Well, I mean, you guys don't. It's nothing new for us and the Brits watching late night wrestling. But
1, 2 a.m. Huh?
Yep. It's 3 a.m. if I wanted to watch Rampage live. Jeez.
Oh Lord.
But I mean, you keep trying to draw people into a show by loading it up with big matches and segments, and I get that. But how do you hope to fit it all in?
I think one
without
option,
making it feel rushed.
You want to overload Rampage, fine. But here's what you do. we in the Discord we've been saying make Rampage a 2-hour show. They're not going to do it.
No.
So I think the alternative is you book it, you have 1 hour on TBS or TNT or and then you have that second hour YouTube.
Yeah.
Call it Maximum Rampage or whatever.
There you go. I don't give a shit. I fuck with it.
Yeah, we'll
great
license
plan.
you the Max word.
You know,
But-
as long you may have to send a cease and desist order.
It's okay. TK will
Yeah.
buy us out, no problem.
We almost got another Maximum around the corner at one point a couple of years ago.
That
That didn't last very long. But it was a good show. It was top heavy, but it was a good show. Hook finally spoke after Danhausen got in his face.
Oh my god!
I actually can't wait for this match tomorrow night.
I went bananas.
You know, I'll say it again. They need to put those two in a tag team. Call it Hookhausen.
Great. Yes.
Sign me up.
I love it. Hookhausen.
And you know, I guarantee you, what you would sell in merchandise.
Oh yeah, dude. The merchandise money alone.
And Hook would never have to talk. Danhausen could do it all.
That's all you. Do you know you'd be in trouble when Hook talked? Is the problem? Is that's what the gimmick would be?
Yeah.
If he grabs the mic, you're like, oh shit, you're fucking really gonna die.
Literally, all he said was, "You wanted my attention. Now you got it."
That's it.
That's all he had to say.
And apparently, fucking internet women fans all over around the world just said,
I love how Danhausen wants to fight him, but he's terrified of fighting him. Like, he realized as soon as he challenged him to a match that he fucked up.
He's like, shit. And so he's like, you will fight Danhausen. And he's like, oh crap, what did I do? This is not good.
Jade also got her 30th win over Marina Shafir.
Dirty finish, and it works.
Yeah, very convincing fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep saying she's getting better and better. But I do hate
are.
the whole freaking baddie section.
Marina Shafir is getting better too.
Yeah, she never really had a chance to shine.
Because the problem with her that the E made was they had her in NXT training, which is where they should have left her. You know, but you know they had Shayna, and they're like, oh, put them together, rush her right up to Raw before she was ready. She had a couple of Raw matches that sucked because she was not ready.
Mm-mm.
You know, she went straight from MMA to pro wrestling. Shayna had time on the indies.
Yeah. Not everybody picks it up that quickly.
No. I mean, even when your husband's fucking Roddy Strong, but still, you know what I mean? I'm with that one too. It was like she's not bad. She's improving, and that's something AEW does a lot better. They don't emphasize on you needing to learn their way. They're emphasizing on what are you good at. Let's build around what you're good at.
I think this is the problem with Ronda. Like, she came from MMA to wrestling, and like her first match was very impressive because nobody really expected us to be that quick learning wrestling, but she kind of stayed at that level. Like, it was great for her first match, but there wasn't really much improvement afterwards.
Because I looked at it like she had a great match. She sees it as like, oh, I'm good. I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the problem that the E has. Like Dominic Mysterio, for example. The kid should have spent some time in NXT.
You haven't seen much improvement.
No.
I mean, does he have potential? Yeah.
Sure.
Give him some time in NXT. You know, the whole thing being Rey Mysterio's kid ain't gonna last forever. Rey, you know, he doesn't have another 10 years. He's got maybe another 2.
Yeah, at best.
I've heard he may even be retiring at the end of this year.
Yeah, well, like I said with predictions, I thought he was going to retire at Mania.
Yeah, that was another one as well. I mean, that's the idea. He's got to pass the torch on to his son at some point. And Dominic and DC hit it right on the head. He hasn't improved. He needs to go to NXT. He needs that coaching.
What worries me is what's Dominic going to do when Daddy isn't there as a tag team partner or in his corner?
Yeah.
the whole Mysterio name is only going to last so long. Ray's being a shorter guy. Ray can hit that Hurricane Rana, that 619, and make it look good. Dominic can't do the Hurricane Rana because he's too freaking tall to do it.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner doing the Frankensteiner. You don't want to. It didn't look good. It didn't look as good as like a luchador doing it.
Yeah, he's very tall for a luchador, but that's my whole thing too. I think he got more E-train than like how some of these guys get like straight lucha training. I think he got more like, oh, this is what's going to make you good in the E. This is what's going to make you good in the E. This is some cool spots. This is what's going to make you good in the E. And that's why he's literally by the wayside, not as important anymore. I remember when we were praising the shit out of him. And that was what, a year ago?
Yeah. He's like, I'm good. I don't need to do it. And I'll say it. If he was not Rey Mysterio's kid, he would have been future endeavor already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then on to Dynamite, we finally got it made official that it's Punk and Hangman for Double or Nothing for the AEW title. Not going to lie, I did mark out.
Everybody did, as they should.
We know how that's going to end already.
I don't know. Well, I'm kind of undecided now because my initial thought was obviously Punk's going to get the world title run, but there's also like Forbidden Doors coming up too. And
that's where you got to put all your chips in.
There's the idea of Punk and Kenta.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could be a deciding factor. I don't know.
See, that's my thing. And I've been fucking stewing over the fantasy booking of this shit. Like, do we go title? Like, are we doing champions versus champions? Are we just doing matches for the sake of matches? Like, what are we doing on this one? And personally, you got to do title and title. Yeah, I think you just have to do it. It's very it's very reminiscent of like the 90s Super Show with WCW. You know what I mean? You have to have where their world champions go against each other. So I don't hate the idea of Hangman and Okada. I mean, I think it's low key like a fucking like Ring of Honor, like one of those like die-hard New Japan guys. It's probably like their wet dream. That one match we never really got that we've been wanting. So that's a good move. But then again, at the same time, if you do Punk and Okada, that's, giant star. But yeah, I also like the idea of Punk and Kenta. There's the idea of Shingo Takagi and Bryan Danielson. But then there's also the same thing with fucking Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson, because both of those guys have been calling each other out. Mox and Tanahashi seems to pretty much be set in stone. So I'm expecting that. And if I don't get it, I'm going to be surprised. I'm sure we're going to get GOD, but in what capacity, I don't know. How much of the Bullet Club is going to show up? Is Fale going to wrestle? It's the card is going to be stacked in numerous ways. It's just, how are they going to build around it? Are we just doing dream matches, or are we going to try to make some shit make some sense? You know what I mean?
I don't think we get Hangman and Okada because, I think they're going to want to do matches that really we haven't seen before.
Yeah, that's my guess.
And we got Hangman and Okada before. We got it at
there we go.
At G1 Climax back in about 3 years ago.
Well, there you go.
So, if you do the champion route, do you have Okada drop it to Kenta?
Oh God, no.
No.
I'm sorry. No.
That's a no. I like Kenta, but he's not a top. He's not, to borrow a line from FTR, he's not top guy material.
Down with that. But then here's my other thing, though, DC. This is obviously not a one-off. They plan to do more of these. So I mean,
do one in Japan next.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what the director was saying from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was saying that it's like, oh, we might have another one in Japan. So I can see some of those other rivalries happening out there. That Punk and Kenta rivalry.
Yeah.
Maybe the Zack Sabre Jr. Bryan Danielson rivalry. Something with Mox and Maybe fucking Ishii or maybe Shibata. Oh my god, no.
And
oh my god,
I
no.
will say we just saw it, but I want to see it again. Minoru Suzuki and Samoa Joe. I want to see it again.
Oh yeah.
Do it again.
Do it in Japan.
Do it. I want
With
to see another Chop Fest. I want to see that again.
Just with a better ending this time.
Much better ending, please.
You know what? Just for Suzuki's facial expressions.
Yes.
You mentioned God. Give me God and FTR.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And speaking of FTR, great match, great example of how tag team partners can have a solid match with no aggression. They just simply try to out wrestle each other. And I love
the
that.
80s, man.
I love that. That's exactly what it came down to in the end too. There was no big finish. One just got caught by the other.
Yeah, it was a roll up, battling for a roll up, and Dax ended up winning. I swear this match gave me 80s vibes, and I wish I had like some better eyes to place on it, but like I honestly kept running through my noggin, and I swear this was a lot reminiscent of like Flair and Harley Race. You know what I mean? Not like the biggest high spot. I mean, they're going to do their own hot spots, but like Race and Flair, their biggest high spot was a hip toss. Was a suplex. I think the biggest one of them all was like a superplex, which they tried to do. What is it, like the superplexion of the crossbody? But you're asking Dax to fucking turn his body in midair, and my man does not know how to do that. So I can't be so mad at him. I did see that there's been some heat already. Oh, well, they fucked up some spots. They did this. Yeah, because they're trying to go out there and do something that they think is going to entertain you. Maybe they worked on it. Maybe they didn't. For all I know, they went out there and just called it in the ring. And if this is what we got for calling it in the ring, I still gave it 4 1/4. It was really fucking good. I don't understand any hate.
I loved a little touch of Punk being on commentary too. And then they immediately after the match make the announcement, and Punk's just like, "Whoa."
He's like, "Oh, hey, that's me." Hey, Mom, I'm on the Titantron.
You know, one time I would just love to see Punk and William Regal on commentary together.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody else. No Shivani, no Excalibur, nobody else. Those two.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'll do you one better. Sign Mauro Ranallo.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
I feel like those three, give those three Rampage.
No, dude. I as much as I love what you're putting down, DC, I do. You're gonna tell me that you're gonna put Excalibur out there with Mauro Ranallo. You can't fit a third man. You can't do it. No, they would not get a word in. So you know what? Maybe you could do JR, and he would just be like, "My God," and that's just it.
I believe JR is out of contract at the end of this year, unless he signs a new one.
I hope he does.
You know, I think with JR, what you do is have him as like a special attraction commentator, like pay-per-views.
Yeah, it was great.
Fuck yes.
In the Attitude Era, it was Michael Cole and King, and then JR came in for WrestleMania.
Let's think of WCW. Dusty would come in for the pay-per-views.
Exactly. Like, remember the last couple of years that he was in the E? When did we see JR? WrestleMania. I think his last match at the E, I think it was Undertaker and Shane, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe
Taker. I think it was Taker Roman.
Yeah, it was Taker and Roman. That was his last match. And you know what? JR still, he has like an aura about him. Like,
oh yeah,
he's like the commentary godfather. You know?
Yes, dude.
Like he kissed the ring.
It's been around for fucking ever.
His voice just exemplifies wrestling commentary.
I'm about to say, like, even I'm sure even fans of Back of the Attitude Era, if they heard JR's voice randomly, they'd be like, "Is that what? I've heard that before," and they would have to listen just for a little bit.
Like,
Everybody,
there is nothing more iconic than seeing Mick Foley get yeeted off the Hell in a Cell and hearing "Good God Almighty, Good God Almighty."
We killed him.
And then
killed him.
getting thrown through the cell and hearing, "By God, he is broken in half."
Yeah. We talk about household names. JR's commentary is household quotes.
Facts.
Whenever people like mockingly commentate on something as if it was a wrestling match, they say "by God" or use a Jim Ross quote.
Yes.
Last summer, I had One of my neighbors had the cops at their place. And I'm sitting out there, I'm having a drink, and I say, well, business is about to pick up.
Oh, Jesus.
I would have gotten Roddy Piper when the cops show up. Look at the size of that ham hock.
So, you know what? Sign Morrow. Give us Regal and Punk on commentary. Just, even if it's one time. One time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the novelty of Jericho on commentary is kind of worn off a little bit.
Well, because he's on like every Rampage now?
Yeah. Well, Ricky Starks is on every Rampage.
Starks
I think
is
Jericho
awesome.
does a few. Wardlow,
I don't
though.
mind Ricky.
Wardlow looked like a monster again, even against Archer this week. And you know what? Wardlow showed us how you do a Hurricane Rana as a big guy.
And I have never seen somebody powerbomb another big guy like that.
I
swear
swear
to
to God,
nothing.
he like tore his trap doing it or something. He looked like he was in pain after the first one. And I'm a little worried. I'm hoping he's fine. Maybe he just fucking strained his back or something really bad.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Archer like that.
Yeah, I must say Archer's not a small dude. But then that's also the thing, and we've talked about this before. Archer's just now being that he's just that guy that will go in, get a bunch of squash wins, and he helps elevate people. And that kind of sucks because, you know, he has a lot of potential. He has that ability to be that big time heel that can dominate and dominate and dominate. But I don't want to say they've fully buried him, but him as a dominant like world champion to me right now, not believable.
No,
that's one of those circumstances where it's like, is it believable? No, this is not believable.
He's just the guy they bring in when you need a big guy to work with.
Yeah. He's the Big Show.
Oh man.
Sorry. He doesn't cry though. He doesn't cry.
He doesn't cry.
Yeah. What an analogy. Lance Archer's the new Big Show.
He hasn't turned heel and face like 50 times in a week.
I'm about to say, please don't kill me, sir. I don't, Mr. Hoyt, sir.
I mean, I love though that Big Show is able to laugh at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He knows he became a parody of himself. Ray Fenix made his return as Death Triangle really outsmarted House of Black in a way that they shouldn't have been outsmarted.
No. I mean, it was. I was like, all right, cool. Well, they're gonna beat up fucking homeboy. That kind of sucks. And then this was the thing, and I think it was Harold that was like, "Oh, Phoenix is back."
Yeah.
And I'm like, could he already be back? And sure shit, yes he was. Over here, fucking shit, swinging the shit out of a shovel. God damn it, took somebody's fucking head off. And rightfully so, has a goddamn fucking sleeve on his arm.
There's something very cool about three guys just running and leaping over the ropes at the same time. In perfect sync.
Especially when one of them is fucking Phoenix, who is quite literally one of the top 10 wrestlers in the world.
Easily.
Yeah, very underrated.
Stupidly underrated. If he could just stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's his issue.
So no doubt we're getting 6-man tag at Double or Nothing.
Oh, let's go. Sign me up for two of them.
Which I still think House of Black is winning that.
That's okay. No. They can take it out.
I think that's where you get Julia Hart turning and joining House of Black. I think that's where you do it.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a slow burn too.
They're teasing the shit out of it.
Nobody, because everybody's waiting. And that's when you hit them, is when they least expect it to happen.
Yeah. And AEW are very good at that.
Well, then that means they got to win.
The last time that the E did it successfully was when Seth turned on the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you remember, everybody thought it was going to be Mox was going to be the one to turn.
Yeah, and also nobody expected a turn because they literally beat Evolution the night before. So it was like, why are you turning?
We thought they were going to at least string us on for another 3-4 months.
But you know what? It worked.
Oh, yeah. And people
perfectly.
It broke people's hearts.
You bastards.
So give me that 6-man tag at Double or Nothing. And also, I guess, give me Stadium Stampede with Jericho's Appreciation Society and Eddie Kingston's boys.
Society.
But that also means we need like another 2 guys for Eddie Kingston's team with.
I was hearing rumors that they don't want to do that no more. Stadium Stampede shows. I'm hearing that they don't want to do those no more.
Well, in that case, we go straight to Blood and Guts, which means we still need another 2 tag team partners.
Still need another 2 motherfuckers.
And we also need William Regal to shout Blood and Guts.
Yes, we
Blood
do.
and Guts.
If anybody can make it sound cool, it's Regal.
It's Regal.
Like, it won't have the same ring as War Games, but if anybody can do it, it's Regal.
I mean, he'll fix it for us.
This is a guy who, like, made getting cursed by Danhausen. He made that look awesome.
Yes.
And
yes,
hilarious.
And why the hell could we not get that on TV?
I guess people would have criticized it for being too goofy.
Oh, yeah.
But
for sure.
For a post-show little segment, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're just there for fun at that point.
Yeah, like Austin and Rock singing karaoke or whatever it was.
Or everybody doing the spinaroonie.
I heard a story that, like, the amount of times that you saw Austin, like, there's a video off air where Austin was on an office chair and going down the ramp.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said he was so intoxicated he doesn't even remember it.
I was going to say, he looked hammered drunk.
Even at Mania, he was.
Oh, well, then, dude, he even admitted he was chugging. When he took a break, he was ripping them things. He told that to Pat, and then Pat was hammered drunk. And then on top of being hammered drunk there, they went in the back and got even more hammered drunk.
That wasn't the IPA either. He brought out the strong stuff.
No, that one's actually not as strong, dude. That's the fucking worst part. The IPA is like a 7.3, or if not higher. This is the American
is it light?
Yeah, it's a 5.4. So it probably goes down a lot smoother, I tell you, because I mean I'm not an IPA guy; it's too hoppy for me.
No, me neither. We have the lager in the UK.
There you go. So yeah, I'm gonna need that one.
Can't find them around here. And I've looked.
No, I know where to find Iron Maiden Trooper IPA, but no Stone Cold Broken Skull.
I've been told I got to go to Whole Foods, which means yeah,
maybe Amazon.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Check it out.
And finally, Scorpio Sky defeated Sammy Guevara for the TNT title in a ladder match. Some great spots, though. Personally, I think Sammy falling into the barbed wire ladder should have been the finish. Instead, he jumped back up the ladder just to get thrown off again.
Literally a second later.
That really diminished it.
But I think what that match also did, it teased the breakup of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. It teased it.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? I am all about that. I like the idea of it because they never really won any gold together as a team.
They never did anything as a team.
I think what you do, you have Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky going at it, and then you just have them. You have Scorpio win it, and then you have Ethan Page just beat the shit out of him after the match.
Yeah, I don't know if Ethan Page can be a face, whereas Scorpio's kind of already made that transition regardless.
Scorpio Sky could be a main eventer. He could be the world champion easily.
Oh, yeah. He's got the potential.
I loved him returning the mid-air cutter that Sammy gave Cody.
That was a good spot.
I did worry about the first spot where fucking Sammy does the whatever the fuck corkscrew 630 or... We all swore to God he had a concussion or whiplash or something fierce because he landed hard and awkward, and he was. If that was he got the wind knocked out of him, that was way more than that, dude. You go back and watch it. It took the guy I swear, and I'm exaggerating. It took him at least 7 minutes to get back on his fucking feet.
Yeah, the whole ad break, wasn't it?
And the question now, though, is what do you do with Sammy? Do you have him just win the title back again?
No, I think this is an opportunity probably for him and Tay to go away for a little bit.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, but it's you don't have any real faces for him to piss off, and I don't think you're gonna randomly go with the whole idea I think there was some fucking nerd in the crowd wearing a suit and a box on his head. We swore to God it was Kip Sabian. You know what I mean? So it's just I'm sure there's guys coming back that he can work with. The thing is just now he's a heel, so it's got to be against a face. It's got to be a reason for it. The whole blah blah blah.
I think, and honestly, part of it is you got to let the heat die down a little bit.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Take a little hiatus.
I mean, what was it I said I think it was last Friday. I said he doesn't have that good heat. He has go away heat.
He's got go away heat.
Yeah,
and he's got go. And I think I explained it. Go ahead.
He's got Ryback heat.
I'm not going to go that far. He does have go away heat. I think the reason why he has go away heat, and this is coming from a dude that I found out about Sammy through YouTube, and I followed his vlogs super early on, way before he was even looked at by AAA, let alone AEW. Him and Pam has been a thing forever. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers get stupid invested in other people's relationship, and it's kind of dumb, but it is what it is. They got so invested. And then on top of not only the YouTube following that they've had on from the beginning, you're going to have a proposal in the middle of a ring on a Wednesday night on a show where you got probably your highest audience. It's not a pay-per-view. And I want to say later that same year, they're broken up and he's with, the next year happens and boom, new lady. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how in the fuck are we not supposed to kind of like hate you a little bit? Like, you know what I mean? You did this whole thing in the ring and then just to say, well, it didn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, because,
it's not our gimmick, but it's in our life.
Who kind of seemed, kind of like the girl next door, kind of like the girl who, everyone's cool with.
Yeah.
And who knows? Like, again, like you said, it's really nobody's business, but at the same time, like, you've got a small portion of the IWC who likes to, rant and rave and
that they do, boy.
I mean, honestly, by the time they were on TV together, most people were kind of okay with it. Like, it was just like, let them get along with it. But
yeah,
then they just became such a couple of assholes on TV. Like, they were still baby faces, but they were acting like obnoxious teenagers.
They were exactly what Dan Lambert, they're the horny teenagers.
When you're that annoying that you make Dan Lambert a baby face, there's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
But you know what? I love it. And you know what?
It'll work.
Dan Lambert is one of us.
He is.
And you know what? He's having the time of his life, and good for him.
Yeah, he's so good on the mic.
Loving life, boy.
I mean, he's got his top team guys over in the E was doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I think also what the ladder match showed us is that they need to work on Paige and Ty a little bit before we actually get the match. We're supposed to be getting the mixed tag match.
Yeah, I don't know when. Probably the pay-per-view?
Yeah, I guess. So let Sammy and Ty go away until Double or Nothing and let Paige do some work.
By the way, Paige, learn how to sell for the love of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Come on now.
The dual kick was pretty good, though.
Yes, but again, sell it. Don't be sitting on the apron looking in like, what's going on in there? Fucking, you got knocked out, Brad. Come on.
All right, so make sure you hit that subscribe button while I go warm up the time machine because this is This Week in Wrestling History.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of history, quite a bit of birthdays. It's a pretty average week. So I'm going to kick this off with WCW was weird. I don't need a time machine to tell you that. April 22nd, 1996. On Nitro, the World Tag Team and Television Championships were all on the line as Lex Luger and Sting defeated The Giant, a.k.a. Big Show, a.k.a. Paul White, and Ric Flair by DQ. The following week, which was taped right after this, The Giant defeated Ric Flair for the WCW World title.
There you go.
And I believe he held it for just over a month. It was just over 100 days before it went back to Hollywood Hulk Hogan, of course.
Goddamn Hoagie.
Sorry, Hollywood Hogan. There was no Hulk in WCW.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Hollywood.
It was when he
That
came
guy.
back to WWE. It was Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and then he wrestled Triple H, and it was HHH versus HHH.
Triple H, Triple H, baby.
April 22nd, 2018, at Impact Redemption, Pentagon became the Impact World Champion, defeating his brother Ray Fenix and the champion Asshole Aries in a triple threat match.
And he held it for what, like a week?
Yeah, it was such a publicity statement because they were working with, was it Lucha or MLW at the time?
Triple A.
Oh, okay. April 23rd, 2006, at Lockdown, Samoa Joe defeated Sabu to retain the X Division Championship. Team 3D defeated Team Canada. Christian Cage defended the NWA World Title against Abyss. You know, Abyss. In for the did I say NWA World Title?
Now.
Yeah, he's a producer now. Joseph Parks. And Lethal Lockdown, Sting's Warriors defeated Jarrett's Army.
Whatever.
All Lethal
Sounds like a
Lockdown
bunch of
matches
kids.
kind of sound the same on paper.
I heard Sting's Army and I thought of children.
April 23rd, 2014, after 307 days, the first ever NXT Women's Champion Paige was forced to relinquish her title after getting called up to the main roster and winning the Divas Championship. Which kind of sucked. I thought it was cool carrying both belts around.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
That was a weird time in NXT because you had JBL as the authority figure.
Yeah,
that's true.
And it was almost like he bullied her into giving up the title.
Come on, you need to give it back.
He's like, you can't be here defending when you're on the road defending the Divas title.
And at the time, I think Brock was like in the title picture.
Yeah, and the Divas title was the ugliest freaking title I've ever seen.
Yeah,
hot garb.
Like even the current Universal and the WWE title are better than that.
It was Divas title was awful.
It was literally a butterfly.
And everything it stood for was terrible too.
Oh yeah, the whole thing was terrible.
Thank the Lord they brought back the Women's Championship. April 24th, 2000, Diamond Dallas Page won his third WCW World title, defeating Jeff Jarrett in a steel cage match, which lasted only 5 minutes exactly. 2 of those minutes were in the crowd.
Not surprising.
The following night on Thunder, what many consider the worst title change in the history of pro wrestling, David Arquette became WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
It was pretty bad.
Purely
Bone's idea.
Probably. I know it was purely to like promote Ready to Rumble, which I know Moses and I Will Die on This Hill was a great movie.
It was. It needs a sequel.
I don't know. You know what a modern day sequel of Ready to Rumble could be, or it might be something interesting.
David Arquette can play Sal Bandini's role of the old wrestler running lessons in his home.
Get Oliver Platt back as Jimmy King.
I love Oliver Platt.
I haven't seen him in anything in the longest time.
No, the most recent thing I think I've seen him in is Chicago Med.
Yeah. I like that show.
Oh,
is that right?
Is it Chicago Med? I know he's in a hospital. Right. He's in a hospital thing anyway.
Is it? It's Chicago. I think it is Chicago Med. I know there's a fire show, but I don't think that's the right one.
That's is that Station 19?
Yeah.
All of these Grey's Anatomy spin-offs all sound the same.
Yes, that's exactly what they are.
April 25th, 1999. Originally an In Your House pay-per-view, WWE presented the first ever Backlash, main evented by Stone Cold and The Rock for the WWE title. Since the In Your House line was discontinued just before the event took place, this was technically the last WWE pay-per-view to carry the In Your House name until it was revived by NXT in 2020. But the last official one, which actually did have the name, was St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Nice.
And I'm still annoyed that they didn't bring that back for NXT because it was on Valentine's Day and they called it Vengeance Day.
Because they're dumb.
Oh, we can't have the word massacre.
Because they're dumb.
April 25th, 2005, the first ever TNA lockdown. TNA made history with an all-cage pay-per-view. Every single match was inside 6 sides of steel. Dustin Rhodes defeated Bobby Roode in a 2 out of 3 falls Prince of Darkness death match. which, if I remember rightly, was literally just 2 out of 3 falls, and they were both blindfolded.
For sure.
Jeff Hardy defeated Raven in a tables match. I remember that spot because they just loaded tables inside the cage, and then Jeff obviously did a dive after top.
Because Jeff Wild.
Because Jeff.
Because Jeff said murder.
America's Most Wanted defended the tag team titles against Eric Young and Petey Williams. Christopher Daniels defeated his former tag team partner Elix Skipper to retain the X Division Championship before becoming the 5-on-5 war. Lethal Lockdown started off at 3-on-3. Mm-hmm. And the first one was BG James, aka Road Dogg, DDP, and Sean Waltman defeating Team Nash. They were Team Nash, defeating Jeff Jarrett, the Outlaw, aka Billy Gunn, and Monty Brown. And in the main event, AJ Styles defeated Abyss to become the number 1 contender for Jarrett's NWA World title, which he went on to win at Hard Justice the following month.
Hard Justice.
A little more updated, April 25th, 2021, at Rebellion, Josh Alexander defeated Ace Austin and TJP for the X Division Championship. Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellerin defeated Fire and Flavor for the Knockouts Tag Team titles, and AEW World Champion Kenny Omega defeated Impact World Champion Rich Swann in a title versus title main event.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it did actually do a lot of good business at pay-per-view, I believe. April 26, 1998, the first ever Inferno match took place at Unforgiven in Your House as The Undertaker defeated Kane in a WrestleMania rematch by setting his arm on fire. And I think in the rematch he set his foot on fire.
Burn him down.
Yeah, Inferno matches were wild. There was only ever 4 of them. And then we had the Ring of Fire.
I'm not getting burned.
April 26, 2009, all 3 world titles changed hands at Backlash as Christian defeated Jack Swagger for the ECW title. Randy Orton won the WWE title when the Legacy defeated Batista, Shane McMahon, and Triple H in a 6-man tag, and Edge defeated John Cena for the world title in a last man standing match. 27th, more Backlash history. In 2003, Goldberg won his first ever WWE match, defeating The Rock. And in 2008, Triple H defeated JBL, John Cena, and Randy Orton for the WWE title. Undertaker also defended the world title against Edge. Today, a little bit of dark history. Today in wrestling history, in 2005, the wrestling world tragically lost Chris Candido at 33 years old. Candido wrestled his last match at the previously mentioned lockdown and fractured his fibula and tibia and dislocated his ankle. And following surgery, Candido suffered a blood clot, but his cause of death was actually down to a acute pneumonia.
Oh wow! All bad.
That was a wild.
I remember that.
Yeah, fucking wild indeed, bud.
I actually remember they cut his match from the replay of Lockdown and just played a tribute for Chris Candido instead.
I fuck with that.
And based on t-shirt, we also lost Connor the Crusher this week in history 8 years ago.
All bad.
So birthdays this week. One of Moses' favorite guys, Andre Chase, turned 33.
Nah, fuck that guy. Nah, he's all right.
Chucky T turned 36. Jay Lethal is 37. Jamie Hayter turned 27. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, turned 31. I'm not going to use his stupid name. Christopher Dijak turned 35. Moose turned 38. John Cena turned 45. Mr. Tony Atlas turned 68. Amazing Red turned 40. Mayor Glenn Jacobs turned 55. And former Team Canada member Johnny Devine turned 48.
And Tony Atlas is still wrestling.
Is he still wrestling?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I love me some Tony Atlas.
I saw him at an indie benefit show a couple years ago. I'll tell you, if you ever get a chance to meet him, he is honestly got one of the nicest guys in the world.
Yeah, he comes across that way.
Like,
hell yeah.
So normally how, at signings they have pictures.
Yeah.
He had hand-drawn pictures that he did himself.
Wow.
Like, I've got one of him and Andre, and totally cool guy. Talks about the infamous Tony Atlas laugh.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got it stored in the sound bites because Tony Atlas appeared as a guest co-host on Max once via voice clips.
Hell yeah, baby. The
That is his laugh, by the way.
I
That's
believe
a
it.
genuine laugh, yeah.
Jesus.
Like I thought he was making it up, and I was like, no, that's him.
No, that's that laugh, baby.
Okay, let's move on to WWE's other show with the A to B of NXT from Moses. So we know you made it like half an hour into the show.
About 40, maybe 40 minutes at best, and then it just killed me. Let's see. Last Legend, I think like I saw her like 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, and she was hot ass garbage. She was not terrible in this one, but then again, both these ladies are like butthole new to the sport, her and Nikita Lyons. And so I mean it was fine. I didn't immediately fucking hate it. I love to make the constant joke that every time I fucking see Nikita Lyons, I'm just, I'm immediately thinking with my dick. Just how it goes.
As
but
is
then,
a lot of the fan base.
Exactly. But then, of course, this is where it kills me. And I hate that I'm admitting this, but I will always admit when things are going down. I'm slowly getting used to Tony D'Angelo. I'm slowly getting on board with his stupid wannabe soprano gimmick, and it's something about it is just, you know what I mean? It's finally clicking with me. And so I was digging his little promo in the back. I was digging
goons this week, right?
What's happening?
You got a couple of goons this week, right?
Yeah, got a couple goons this week. He called everybody fucking paisan. He was like, yo, paisan. I'm like, what the fucking paisan? He was fucking had to deal with fucking was it Zion Quinn and that fucking nerd. But then that was the other thing though too. We got to see Natalya come down. She wants to get a shot at Nikita Lyons. You know, the battle of the thick blondes. I'm with it. Roddy Strong. Oh, everybody does, brother. Roddy Strong is pissed off at fucking the Diamond Mine for like half-assing it. And he's like, I got a tag team that's coming in that's going to face you guys. And it's the Viking Raiders. So that's a little exciting. And then what killed it is I was like, all right, well, Tony D'Angelo's got a match, but whom against? Goddamn fucking Giant Edge. Von Wagner. And I was like, no, thank you. And that's where I ended it.
And Mo, I've seen the comparison that Von Wagner is the secret love child of Great Khali and Edge.
He 1,000% is, bud.
Ever since I heard that, it's one of those things you can't unsee it.
Nope. Can't unsee it because it's the truth.
I think the main event was Mandy Rose versus I don't know what the hell her new name is, Roxanne something, Roxy's
whatever
the hell her new name is. It's Roxanne something.
Yeah, it is. I think it's just Roxanne.
Perez? Is it Roxanne Perez?
Roxanne Perez.
She's still Roxy.
Yeah.
All right. And now let's find out who is this week's Geek of the Week.
Pencil neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-cut, losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek.
Pencil neck geek.
This week's Geek of the Week is the nerd that made me fucking kill NXT. I'm over here trying to watch a goddamn show, and yet you're up here on here fucking looking like Giant Edge for no goddamn reason with your clumbering, stumbling, bumbling. I can't stand you, Von Wagner. This is like fucking number 4 you've been on this list. You're just... What is the appeal of you? I don't understand. What is the appeal of you? Because you're tall? They fucking fired Adam whatever the fuck dumb shit's name is at Control Your Narrative. He was tall and strong. So what the fuck makes you any fucking cooler? Like, this guy just fucking kills me. In all reality, I should have probably just skipped his match and tried to finish NXT. But when you go from like me looking at some good looking women and then seeing the Viking Raiders back and getting a little excited and then thinking, you know what, maybe I'll get to see something decent from Tony D'Angelo, and then I see this fucker. I'm just like, nope, I'm out.
Damn.
No Prati. He's going to flounder like a son of a bitch when he goes to the main, and he will go to the main.
He's a big guy. The E-Jones are going to love him.
No, they tried. Remember they brought him up to like Raw a month or two ago before Mania, and he was on like 2 weeks worth of Raw, and then they sent him right back to NXT.
Damn.
That's not surprising at all.
Because there were backstage segments with Vince and Von Wagner. I think Wagner was supposed to get the treatment that Austin Theory had, like that storyline.
And then he saw his fucking forehead.
And he couldn't talk worth a bean. So they just yeeted him back to NXT.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll slap some stupid gimmick on him and bring it back, and he'll be.
He's Edge's younger, bigger brother. Do it, fucking do it! Come on, make him.
Von Wagner can join the House of Purple.
And you know, I know what
House
his
of
new
Purple.
nickname's going to be. It's going to be Edge Khali.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we didn't talk about. Edge's new faction is called Judgment Day, because naming a faction
It's
after
the
an
color
old
purple.
pay-per-view is cool.
Call him the color purple and call it a day. I don't care for the name.
You know,
I don't care for the faction. I don't care for what Damian Priest is doing with his eyes.
I will say I thought it was absolutely fucking hilarious when Brody King posted on Twitter a picture of Edge and Priest, and he says, "What happens when you order House of Black on Wish.com?"
Right, the House of Purple.
And it's just like, yes.
And he got some shit for it, and then he was like, "Guys, I'm just joking around."
Yeah, like come
relax.
on, fucking. I'm sure he knows fucking Damian Priest well.
Yeah.
And they're cool with each other. Like, you can't tell me that Damian Priest and Edge are like, this shit is great. This is original.
No, they're like, I mean, this is. I'm sure Edge is telling him like, "Hey, kid, you want to get along? You want to go along in this business? You got to just fucking go along." You know what I mean?
I guarantee you, if Damian Priest were to go to Vince and say, "Vince, I don't like this. It's stupid. It's not original," Vince would probably just say, "Okay, you don't have to do it." And then the next week, he's jobbing out to whoever the biggest jobber on their roster is.
Yeah. They'll give him Killer Cross's old helmet.
There you go.
I will say what I do enjoy about NXT. I do like what they got going on between Carmelo Hayes and Solo Sikoa.
Yeah. Carmelo Hayes is awesome.
And Sikoa, he's got potential. And the best thing they are doing is keeping him away from the bloodline.
Yeah.
Make him be his own man.
Yeah, it's doing great.
See if the dude can actually hold water.
I'm sure he can, but no, I get what you mean.
All right, then. So from the worst to the best. This is the best of the week. All right, wrestler of the week. Very easily going to give it to Josh Alexander.
Well earned.
Very well earned. Very convincing win. Hopefully, he gets a good run as world champion. Moment of the week. I'm going to give it to CM Punk versus Hangman being announced. And I think Punk made it feel big by just leaping up and grabbing the mic and going, "I'm not even doing my entrance. I'm going to talk and walk."
I mean, it worked.
Yeah. And he came across it like, I'm a fan of Hangman, but I'm going to kick his ass. And
yeah, it was great.
Dumbest moment of the week, the arm wrestling segment, because they're always stupid.
Arm wrestling.
So many more things you could be doing with Bobby Lashley.
But we want to arm wrestle.
The sad thing is, Omos is going to probably win this one.
Yeah, which is fine, but build it better than this. I don't want to see a stupid arm wrestling contest.
It's like, I get it. You want to put the younger, bigger guy over? That's fine. But, do it when it makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't gone the whole, let's see if they can team up to coexist route.
Well,
you know what?
That'll be next week.
It's probably next week. I like that.
I mean, you know what? It's better than an arm wrestling contest.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
It's going to
Best
be
out of 7 matches.
It's going to be a tag team match, and one of them is going to walk out on the other.
Yeah.
We're predicting it now.
Well, there we go. Your week is complete. Thank you, everybody, for spending your Thursday with us. You know where to find us at Max Wrestling UK on the old Musk Twitter. and at the Captain 512 and SMRPodNet. Once again, the website maxwrestling.net, and of course to our very special guest this week, DC. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for not cashing in on me.
There you go. Double thank yous.
We got a year to get excited.
I was about to say he was tempted, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? Most people should be tempted to cash in on me when it comes to trivia because I don't do it very often. I'm the guy that writes the questions. Actually, I think I've only done it once and it didn't go very well. We had a guest host.
That's great.
Now, listen up, you Pencil Neck Geeks. This is what Moses has for you this week.
That's right. Tonight is the NFL Draft Round 1. 2 episodes drop later this morning that are going to fucking literally be... One is like 3 different mock drafts. The other one is... How many players? I think it's 50. I think I did 50 players. 50 players I'm expecting, absolutely expecting the Chargers to look at. And if they don't, I'm fucking calling somebody. I don't know who. As for that, we have to talk about TikTok. We have to talk about Max Wrestling UK on TikTok because I am mere 60-something away from 1,000. We are almost at 1,000. When 1,000 hits, big things happen. It means I can go live. I can interact better and more often and do all that stuff. And I also made a pledge from the jump. When I hit 1,000, Max Wrestling goes to Twitch. And that is the plan. So we're going to see how this goes. If it works out to the best of our abilities, expect some watch-alongs for Max Wrestling on Twitch. For any pay-per-views, any big shows, maybe even just rampages and dynamites for all we know. But there's going to be lots of things coming. So if the 70 you motherfuckers out there that haven't started following Max Wrestling UK yet, do it. So we can get going on the everything else's platform.
Yeah, and as for Open Road, episode 1 was released just over a week ago. So you were probably waiting for episode 2 yesterday, but it didn't drop. So I'm aiming for this weekend, or... If we can get like maybe another, I'm not going to ask for 70. So maybe if we can get like 10, 15 more views, then I'll drop episode 2 a little sooner.
There we go.
Should be up this weekend. The continuation of Chad, myself, and Fenix searching for this location to shoot the cinematic sequel last month. The episode consists very much of Chad saying, "Where are we?
Where are we?"
As you saw by the preview last week. And with that said, join us next week for the very exciting Backlash predictions.
That's right.
Yeah, we love predicting WWE.
As you hear the excitement in my voice.
Also, tomorrow night, Hook Danhausen. Let's do it. You've been watching the Cap and Mo and DC. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.
Yeah, we coming for that ass. All that ass.
In brown panties.
Mm-hmm.
All rise.
Courted in session. This is your world champion speaking. The head of the firm, the captain, the head of the jury. It's been a few weeks now since the jury was revealed. A few weeks since we vanquished not only Travis Walter Anderson, but the Fenix as well. We hold almost all of the gold in Max Wrestling. And all that's left is to take the Fenix's Knowledge Championship at Trivia Takeover. And I don't like his chances. No champion has ever survived the champion's chase. And even if he does, he won't survive the Jester's justice. And as far as Moses goes, like I said, the door is open. There is a place for you on the jury. Think about it. Cypher, the lawyer, the captain, and El Jefe. And while you make your decision, ladies and gentlemen, we do have other unfinished business. And that's why on May 13th, Max Wrestling will once again crash the season finale of Ryan Square. And you never know who we're bringing with us.